Hello everyone, welcome back to Fight's channel. Friends, before starting to watch this video, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel. I really want to get 20,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. Thanks for supporting me, guys. Wilder wished good luck to Joshua in the fight with Vallin. On December 23rd, 2023, a rather exciting bout tournament will take place in Saudi Arabia. As we all know, Joshua and Otto Wallin will meet in the main match. Deontay Wilder and Joseph Parker will meet in the sole main match. But in my opinion, the first confrontation is much more interesting. Because of its unpredictability, you will know what to expect in the fight between Wilder and Parker. Then what Joshua will do in the fight against Vallin is not entirely clear, especially since Joshua has a new coach in the person of Ben Davison, who previously trained Tyson Fury himself. I liked their last press conference, and most of all I liked that Deontay Wilder and Joshua did without any discontent and insults against each other. This is exactly what I see as a beneficial start to their fight, which must definitely take place in the near future. But I agree with Wilder that it's not worth getting ahead of ourselves, and that it's worth paying attention to what we have, and I want to note that the evening will certainly be interesting despite some unequal confrontations. You know, I have strong faith that Joshua will knock out Vallin before the second half of the fight. Of course, everything will depend on his mood, but I will count on it, Wilder said. The most important thing is that Joshua does not fall for the game of Vallin, who will definitely try to drag him into his already prepared traps. But Joshua is a reasonable guy, and I'm sure he will recognize all the tricks of the Vallin in time. I wish him good luck in the fight with Vallin, as I understand perfectly well that his luck will lead to our fight. I would also recommend him not to get ahead of his plans, and until he fights with Vallin, you should not think about our fight with him. Also, I am not distracted at all by the topics of our fight, as I perfectly understand that Joseph Parker will enter the ring to defeat me, and therefore at the moment I will give all my focus to the fight with Joseph Parker. To be honest, I have never seen such external goodwill towards Joshua from Deontay Wilder before. And, as I said, this has a positive dynamic for their future fight. Deontay Wilder believed that he cannot be compared with his British ringmate Joshua, because there is a big difference between them. What is the difference between me and Joshua? I have already said this many times. The difference is that you are either born a champion or you are made into one, and Joshua was just made a champion. His promoters and management bought everything for him, presented everything on a platter. Oh, they were selling arenas. Nothing like that. They didn't sell anything. In fact, they bought the tickets themselves and then resold them. George Groves doesn't like Joshua's frequent coach challenges. Joshua has been changing his coaches quite often lately. When he enters the ring in Saudi Arabia on December 23, he will have his fourth trainer in the last 5 fights. Recently, his longtime mentor Rob McCracken was engaged in his preparation, but next Robert Garcia was already taking him farther. AJ lost both of those fights, and then hired Derrick James. With him in the corner, he defeated Jermaine Franklin on points and knocked out Robert Helenius in the confrontation with Otto Wallin, which will take place in 16 days. His head coach will be Ben Davison, until recently the head coach of Tyson Fury. Interestingly, Fury broke up with Davison precisely after the fight with Vallin, which he won, but not without problems, and John Fury, Tyson's father, loudly expressed his concern about his son's preparation. Ben Davison is a good coach and a smart guy who already has a lot of experience working with different boxers. He seems to be very methodical in his actions and will certainly want to bring something new to Joshua's boxing. On the other hand, I've already seen Derrick James' hand. AJ started boxing in a different way, so I am a little disappointed that Joshua interrupted this learning process. I wanted to see where he and James would go together, but he changes his coach once again, albeit a good one. Let's see if there will be any changes in Anthony's boxing now, said Gross. The former two-time heavyweight world champion suggested that after this fight, he would return under James' wing and the replacement was dictated by logistical problems. This explanation looks extremely unconvincing, since it is hard to believe that small logistical obstacles could interfere with the preparation for an important battle with Vallin. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.